It is evident that the federal government under Bola Ahmed Tinubu wants to prove that Nnamdi Kanu is guilty of all the allegations slammed on him. I repeat, it is evident and clear that the federal government under Bola Ahmed Tinubu wants to make sure that they prove Nnamdi Kanu is guilty of the crimes that has been alleged on him, on the count charges that has been alleged on him. Note, Nnamdi Kanu has been in custody for 5 years now, DSS custody. Fair trial, fair treatment is absent. A court discharged him, but yet he's still facing trials for the same reasons why the federal government doesn't want this guy to go scot-free, but wants to make sure that they nail him to a criminal charge. They make sure that they find him guilty. 2 people are billed to testify against Nnamdi Kanu in court. Yes, on the 13th of June 2025, 2 persons will testify against Nnamdi Kanu, and this is what transpired. Yes, according to reports, research and findings, these guys are members, alleged to be members of the IPOB movement, who is in the custody of the Nigerian government, who has been prepared to come and witness against Nnamdi Kanu. Now, the DSS have been accused of trying to re-engineer these guys to say 1 or 2 things so that they can nab him, they can hold him down. Now, the case started with the prosecution asking the witness what he found in the home of Madubugu, is an associate of Nnamdi Kanu. Now, what did he find? The witness said they found 2 pump-action guns, live bullets, and a radio transmitter. This report, I saw it on NTA Twitter handle, NTA Updates. Nigerian government also posted this. That they confirmed that they found 2 pump-action guns and live bullets and a radio transmitter in the hands of Madubugu, an ally of Nnamdi Kanu. The prosecuting counsel, that is the federal government counsel, pleaded with the court to stop playing the broadcast. Why did he ask the court to stop playing broadcast? Well, they have gotten the information they wanted to get. The court also admitted that broadcast, that drive, that instrument as an exhibit in court. The video is being relied on by the prosecution to prove that Nnamdi Kanu issued an order to attack Hausa Fulani and government officials. That is the sole thing these guys are trying to prove in court, that Nnamdi Kanu incited the public against government officials and was responsible. They are trying to link him with attacks on government officials. They first tried linking him with Simon Ekpa. Simon Ekpa is his boy, his disciple. They tried linking him, but they were not able to establish that fact. But the federal government is bent, like I said, they are bent on trying to make sure that they find this guy guilty without following due process, in quote. Now, the video being played is trying to portray, like the prosecution is trying to portray to Nigerians, members of court, and the officials, the judge, that Nnamdi Kanu ordered attack on Nigerian government and Hausa Fulani people in the southeast region. Okay. The witness also narrated that Gulak was killed on a Sunday. Remember, Gulak is Hausa Fulani. Gulak death is also, they are trying to connect it with the activities of the IPOB. He said he was killed on a Monday. But he was wrong, because May 30th, Gulak was killed was on a Sunday. You see, to show you that there's a lot of things being prepared to make sure, you know, when you're in court, man, all is not fair. When you're in court, it's like a war zone. You need to have strategies to fight, and however, whatever strategy they are going to use to convince the judge that Nnamdi Kanu is guilty, that is what the Nigerian government would use at any point in time. Now, this is one of a very important aspect. A witness called Onyami was said to have worked like he's an ally to Nnamdi Kanu, or is a boy, is an IPOB. That's the allegation. Onyami, his name is Uzoma Benjamin. He testified in court. He said, the IPOB leader, Nnamdi Kanu, ordered me to eliminate 1,000 people, but I only succeeded in taking down 30 people. I repeat, he said, the IPOB leader, Nnamdi Kanu, ordered me to eliminate 1,000 people, but I succeeded in taking down only 30. A broadcast is being played about Ikonso, where Nnamdi Kanu mourned the death of Ikonso, that he was a fighter and was one of his very good soldiers, connecting all these dots in the court of law. Free Nnamdi Kanu, that is the subject of the whole matter. Whatever the government is trying to do that so that it wants to prove a point. But when you look at the justice pattern, what is supposed to happen, Nnamdi Kanu should be freed and taken back to where he was arrested, seized, or kidnapped without following the due process. DSS has denied that there's nothing like that there. But at the end of the day, how did he get to Nigeria? So, like I tell you, the court is a place whereby a lot of things happen. People are just like... So this Onyami, the allegations that he is being primed, he is being organized to speak up against Nnamdi Kanu. That is what we have on the update of Nnamdi Kanu in court. Let's move over to Finland. What transpired in Finland? We have IPOB. Mind you, IPOB is not the only group that is agitating for Biafra freedom. There are other groups that are agitating for Biafra freedom. IPOB is an agitating group amongst other groups. So in IPOB itself, there's a lot of divisions. Now we have DOS members, Director of States, the IPOB, working with Nnamdi Kanu, going to Finland to testify against Simon Ekpa, saying Simon Ekpa is not our member. Going to testify against Simon Ekpa, saying Simon Ekpa is not our member. That is a lot of pill to swallow. Even in Simon Ekpa's camp, we have two different people. We have the Orabweze, we have the Ogenkeri. A lot of things happening with this agitation. And we have said it countless times without number, that if you are looking for justice, you can't find justice in a stranger. You find justice in yourself. People were relying on Finland to do this, to do that. People were relying on Finland to bring justice to Biafra through Simon Ekpa. Finland is this, Finland is that. At the end of the day, everything is going south. My brothers. Nnamdi Kanu is one person. When you talk about freedom fighters in Africa, he's one person. The colonial masters, they have held us in bondage so much that anybody that stands up to speak the truth and fight for his people, he's seen as a treasonable fellow. He's seen as somebody who is again. Like I said, whenever you see a revolution, whenever you see an agitation, there's always casualties in the whole world. In the whole world. The federal government, in order to maintain law and order, casualties happen. In order to free yourself from mental slavery, casualties happen. But what does the establishment do? They take advantage of a particular casualty, leaving the casualty on their own side, using that casualty to judge you and call you a treasonable fellow. Yes. There's no agitation, there's no revolution in the world. Even when Nigeria fought for independence, even when Nigeria fought for democracy, there were casualties. So there's no change that does not come with a price or the casualty of this or that. It doesn't happen anywhere in the world. But looking at it critically, you see that a lot of things are happening. People are being planted in this different agitation. When you plant this person, that one scatters this one. And you see, a house divided himself against himself will not stand. Ohaneze, Igbo politicians are not also helping matters. They are part of the problems we are facing as we speak. The only thing that we are asking the government, because I spoke to somebody, we were having a conversation about Tinubu using Nnamdi Kanu as a political bait for the Fulani. The person said that he believes that Tinubu is going to release Nnamdi Kanu. He believes so. According to what the person said, he said that he thinks that they want him to go through the normal process. Go through the normal process, and maybe he will be guilty in some place, he will not be guilty in some place. And what they will do is that the place that he is guilty, they will use the years he has spent in GSS custody to cover for it. And they are eventually going to release him. That if they pardon him, if they use political means to pardon him, that's what the person said. If they use political means, if they pardon him politically, that somebody else can still come back and revisit the case and take up the case against him. That if he's discharged and acquitted, or if his judgment is being passed, if the judgment is being passed, then nobody will be able to revisit the case, and he will return to facing criminalities here, left, allegations, count charges. He will not return to the court. That Tinubu wants him to go through the case normally and finish the case. That is what the person said. My brother, there was a court judgment the other time releasing this young man. A court judgment awarding some amount of money in Abia State to Nnamdi Kanu. What happened to the whole thing? What happened? You see, the problems we are facing, Africans, we are not ready to come out of the problems we are facing. We are not ready to free ourselves from the shackles of slavery. And the slavery we are experiencing is a more sophisticated one, my brother. The slavery we are experiencing today is a more sophisticated slavery. If we don't take time, we have the issue of the colonialists, we have the issue of globalists, we have the issue of imperialists, we have the issue of, even within ourselves, the Fulani. We are fighting on every ground. We are having issues of people sabotaging our growth as Africans, making sure that we do not unite and come together. These issues are underlying, they are there 247. So why would, sometimes I'm shocked, why would we expect Nnamdi Kanu to get justice under a system that does not ensure democracy? It's a democratic system, as said, does not ensure democracy to its people. Why do we believe that Nnamdi Kanu, somebody says Nnamdi Kanu will come out with the Biafran this thing, blah, blah. My brother, if you know what it took the federal government to go and take and seize Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya, if you know what it took, the government of the day, backed by some powers that be, that, most times all these people, they do meetings indoor. You don't know what is going on. They know what they discuss in their meetings. They do meetings with diplomats and what have you, foreign influences. They have international trips and meetings left, right, center. They know what they are doing. You know what it took the Nigerian government to go and get him from China, my brother. If you know what must have been expended in that trip, you know that these people are not joking, the imperialists are not joking, and there's no way they can deliver Biafra to you on a platter of gold. There's no way that you can achieve Biafra just by going to the court to defeat the Nigerian government in the court. Nigerian government. You are looking at the political space today and what is happening. You understand the kind of elements we have as politicians in Nigeria. In the Southeast, we have even much more worse elements. Politicians are the one actively working against this Biafra agitation of a thing. Politicians, Igbo politicians, not other people. Igbo politicians, especially APC politicians, they are the ones working against the actualization of this sovereign state that will bring a people together, marginalized, prosecuted, so that they can chart their own destiny. They will chart their way. That's one of the reasons. You see, the other time that Nnamdi Kanu gave these governors, one of the things I want you to do for the Southeast is revive all the industries, get us a seaport. He gave the governors his conditions for dropping Biafra then, before they went to waylay him in his house, and then he escaped. It tells you a lot about how these governors are afraid of Nnamdi Kanu being released. Usually, they should have used the political solution. Whoever that comes down to revisit it is wasting his time. But the governors themselves, they don't like Nnamdi Kanu wielding influence over them, because they understand the psychology of an average Igbo man. An average Igbo man is loyal to the Biafra ideology. If you bring in Biafra now, that's why you see Samanekwa has a lot of followers. If you bring in Biafra now, you see that an Igbo man will be much more interested in you, even though you are not an Igbo person. So the Southeast governors understand that an average Igbo man wants Biafra so bad, and you're willing to invest a lot of things. I spoke to somebody. He has 2 shops in Lagos. He said he told me that if Biafra is achieved today, that he will abandon the shops and go back. He doesn't mind going back empty. These are the psychology of most Igbo people in the Southeast. So releasing Nnamdi Kanu is like suicide for these Southeastern governors. That's why they will never, ever want to support anything that has to do with resurrecting the Biafra consciousness that is depleting by the day. Remember, Nnamdi Kanu's Radio Biafra, his broadcast continuously and frequently awoken the minds of the people. I'm telling you, his broadcast in a way helped people to understand the agitation, which many people did not understand. They helped people to subscribe to the agitation and willfully expecting and willing to participate in a Biafra. Eventually, it is realized. The media was something Nnamdi Kanu used. And that's the same transmitter they are looking for in court and saying this, blah, blah, blah. They are looking for 1 or 2 things to just hold him down and find him guilty. But this is not an advice. This is not a threat. Nnamdi Kanu is like Igbos are in JSS custody for 5 years. Igbos have not gotten themselves over 5 years now. Even the news that broke out that Nnamdi Kanu was seized by Buhari's government. When the news broke out, many people felt it. Many people could not eat. Many people were demoralized. I tell you, the only time this happened was when they announced Tinubu president. That was the same aura amongst the people, the Igbo people. When they heard that Malami and Buhari are in custody of Nnamdi Kanu, it was a shocker to everybody, I tell you. It was a shocker to everybody. And I'm even surprised that when they heard that Samanekwa was arrested, some people say they have not eaten since morning. They have not. So this is a sensitive matter. The government can save face by restructuring this country or returning this country back to regionalism, and everybody starts to chart his or her destiny from there. Coming together, we understand, we know. The politicians themselves don't believe in one Nigeria, so don't let them deceive anybody that the politicians don't believe in Nigeria itself. The people that created Nigeria knows that Nigeria is a failed project. They will just be giving you hope. Democracy Day now, we had Democracy Day. It's all about banter. You banter this political party. Is that the essence of democracy? Like I said, democracy is not designed for Africa to improve, to be developed. It is anything, any package, most of the packages that is being brought into Africa is meant to keep us stagnant and not make us grow, not make us industrialized, not make us developed. So we should chart a way. See, if these politicians, if they are patriotic to Nigeria, why would they be stealing money? Why would they be running the treasury dry? Why would they be involved in nepotism? Why would they be involved in divisive rhetoric? Why would they be starving their citizens and hunger and men? Why would they be involved? Yes, it's because they don't believe that Nigeria is working. Why not save people, the destinies of young people in Africa, by charting a new course? Your nationalist leaders, your Pan-Africanists, they are the solutions. But the West will make you turn on them. Look at Patrick Lumumba. Look at Ibrahim Traore. Look at what is being said about them. These are nationalists that are fighting for the liberation of their people. A whole number of times you have talked about the system, the establishment that uses the system. They know, the establishment themselves, they know that it is going to be a zigzag. For instance, now, a Tinubu does well. Let's assume he does well. Somebody else will come and redefine the whole thing, because we have different ideologies, we have different agenda, we have different visions for ourselves. The way we see the country is different from each other. So we cannot be together. So if you think that Nnamdi Kanu is deserving of this treatment, my brother, you don't understand what it means to be free. What it means to be free means a lot of sacrifices, a lot of things will happen. What it means to be free. May God help Africans.